These girls embody the best hope for the future of our world. And we are committed to standing up for them, not just in times of tragedy or crisis, but for the long haul. We are committed to giving them the opportunities they deserve to fulfill every last bit of their God-given potential.
And that is First Lady Michelle Obama taking over the president's weekly address on Mother's Day weekend, talking about the kidnapped schoolgirls of Nigeria. Meanwhile, experts from the U.S. and Britain have arrived in Nigeria to help with the rescue effort, but it's unclear where the girls are or how they're doing. So what can these experts do to bring the girls back home? Here with us now to talk about that is Stephen Yates. Stephen is the former Deputy Assistant to Vice President Dick Cheney for National Secretary or Security Affairs. Good to see you, Stephen.
Hi, Arthel. Good to be with you.
So you see the First Lady there, and you know the President Obama wants to let Americans know and the world know, listen, I hear you. I share the sentiments on how sad and how horrible the situation is. And then he has to balance that emotion with sensible strategy. How should he play it?
Well, I think you got it exactly right. It's obviously not very hard to move people's hearts with a tragedy like this. It's a terrible, terrible situation. And what we see here is replication of what the Taliban was doing in Afghanistan, but now in a faraway land of Nigeria. Essentially, these Islamist radicals are hostile to any non-Islamic education, and they're subjugating of women, treating them as if on the open market for trade. It's a terrible situation. So our hearts have been moved, and the question is, what can we reasonably do about it with what resources? On that front, I think the President has not been terribly clear. We've talked about this largely as a law enforcement type mission to go in and help find the girls, bring them home. And certainly we want success there. But what are we really prepared to do about the group that is behind this and keeping something similar from happening in the future? That's been completely undefined.
Well, it's a very crazy group, if you will. But I want to go here for a second, Stephen, and we'll get back to Boko Haram. As you know, Nigerian army has now posted 2 divisions with soldiers stationed in the border region close to Chad, Cameroon, and Niger. But it's too little too late, according to critics of the Nigerian government. So I ask you, Stephen, can President Goodluck Jonathan be trusted with whatever hand of assistance that's extended to him? Can he be trusted with that?
Well, the Nigerian government has been a cooperative government in times past, and I don't think there's a reason to doubt it to date. But with the missing person situation, and we have hundreds of missing people in this instance, time is really of the essence. And I think it's very, very hard, even for international experts with a great deal of resources, to come in as the trail has developed for several days and have really good odds of being able to track where everyone has gone. They have been able to identify a few of the girls who have escaped, but there's still large numbers, and we can't know at this point whether they're even still in Nigeria.
Yeah, it's really heartbreaking. I want to get back now to the big picture. Boko Haram fighting for an Islamic state. They're extremely radical, extremely irrational. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how dangerous is Boko Haram? And at this point, Stephen, do you believe that they have any tentacles that could reach into the United States?
Well, Boko Haram is certainly a dangerous organization. It's destabilizing for the region. A threat to Nigeria itself, but it's basically part of a pattern, and it's a pattern that our policymakers at a national level and a lot of our international partners have refused to recognize, of groups of really organized Islamic radicals that seek to basically have a major effect on the politics and the culture of those areas, and they use violence to push their way. It's similar to the groups that had existed in Mali, those that have been in Libya, and really across all of northern Africa. And so we need to be able to say who our enemy is or who the threat is. It's really a regional threat, but this pattern is replicated in many places. And as we've learned with the Boston bombing and elsewhere, with the internet, you can have radicalization among these groups without having to be geographically proximate. If they see success, they'll try to replicate it, and that, I think, is the biggest threat.
And that's why I was asking if you thought they had tentacles here that could reach into the United States at this point. And you mentioned that earlier, Stephen. You said the president has not been clear as to what he should do in that situation. I mean, is it because it's a weird kind of catch-22? If you go in there and you get too involved, and those guys become emboldened, like, hey, I've got the attention of the United States of America, and they can use that as propaganda to recruit even more radicals.
No doubt, and they do seek propaganda. But I also don't think the United States should be the first in and the only force that is used against this kind of a threat. It's really important for countries themselves, their regional partners, and their nearby allies to take this threat more seriously and to take action together. The United States should play a supporting role in this, but we can't really get a coalition together and to support a coalition that we don't lead if people don't first recognize that what we're against is this kind of broad pan-Islamist movement.
Yeah. Stephen Yates, I have to go. I appreciate your time, and we'll see you again. Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you, Arthur.
See you.